Hello, welcome back to Baby Sneezing.
I would like to see the baby.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Insert Art. It is a lovely Monday morning in the Insert Art studio.
We're not used to being here on a Monday.
Well,
I'm
not.
not.
I hate Mondays. But you know who else hates Mondays?
Garfield.
Yes, we are drawing Garfield today.
But there's a catch. So we're going to draw Garfield, but we're going to draw Garfield anime.
Anime. Which anime?
Many.
All the animes.
I was wondering if we should keep it a secret which animes we were going to reference.
Okay,
and
maybe we
see
can
if
guess
they
each
can,
other's anime.
Yeah. And you guys can pause the video in the comments and guess as we go. All right, well, I guess we should get into it, hey?
Let's get started. So for my first Garfield, I wanted to do something really whimsical, really fun, pretty cute, and I went straight in with the pose and the silhouette of my character, and you can probably guess who it is already. But for anyone who doesn't know quite yet, we won't give it away just yet. So I picked the pose from a screenshot of a scene of this movie. I basically just copied it. It's like a pre-established pose. I just made sure to add a tin of lasagna on Garfield's belly, just to sort of imply that he's eaten a whole lasagna, he's just like finished a big meal, and now he's just gonna have his nap on like a tree branch or something. So we're going very, very comfy, very cozy vibes.
Having a food coma.
Yeah, exactly. And at the moment, it's not really looking much like Garfield, so I made sure to add those like 3 little tufts of fur that he's got behind his ears.
Yes, that automatically makes it Garfield, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And also just sort of copied that with the whiskers. Another clue as to who this Garfield mashup might be is the line work. I made sure to use like really fine and really consistent lines, and you can see I'm painting quite slowly. I'm being very steady about it, and this is like the signature style of
your chosen genre?
Yeah, of the director, I would say,
yes.
of this particular character. I made sure to add Garfield's signature stripes, and at this stage it was kind of not really looking like he had just eaten lasagna. It was looking a little bit too gory and bloody at this stage, so I decided to add some more like pasta sauce on Garfield's mouth and paws.
I feel like that made it almost more gory.
We don't know what he's been eating. Maybe it's not lasagna.
I like also, I don't know if he did it on purpose, his stripes on his knees are the same shape as this character's smile.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. Yes, speaking of the smile, I thought the smile was pretty iconic to this character.
Yes.
And it is just so Garfield to have like a cheeky little smile, you know, during his afternoon nap after eating a whole tray of lasagna. I felt like it was quite fitting.
Absolutely.
And he was looking a little bit strange, just floating in the abyss, so I decided to pretty much copy the background of the scene that I was copying.
Inspiration.
Inspiration. So I decided to add a background, and I went for this really painterly look to contrast the very sharp lines and shading of this character.
That's sort of very much in the style of your chosen director as well.
Yeah, I think so. And if you haven't guessed already, this is Garfield as Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro by Hayao Miyazaki,
Yes.
Studio Ghibli.
Question is, we're going to get in trouble for this. Ghibli or Ghibli?
Oh, I say Ghibli, but...
So, when I was in Japan, they were saying both,
Oh, really?
but more so I think it was Ghibli.
Oh, okay.
So I've always been very like, oh no, how do I say it now?
Oh no. Let us know in the comments if it's Ghibli or Ghibli. All right, on to Kat's first artwork.
So I had trouble initially deciding which character from my chosen anime I wanted to turn John into. There was a couple of options and I thought both were equally as funny.
So you went the funny route.
I went, yeah, I couldn't help myself because John doesn't, I just can't see him as a serious character. Like, in my head, I think it's just the voice they used when they made the TV show. He's kind of like this flamboyant person and I just can't take him like super seriously. So in the end, I just went full funny. So then I spent ages trying to work out a pose. I wanted it to be probably more dynamic than it really needed to be.
So you went the complete opposite to me, because I did a really like lazy lounging around pose, but you decided to go like really active and dynamic.
Absolutely. See, I think where I went wrong too was like, I wanted to create a whole new pose, and really I should have just picked a pose that was kind of iconic for the character that I was...
I feel like John doesn't have a lot of poses though, like, because it's a comic panel, you don't really often see the bottom of his legs.
That's true.
I don't know about the anime that you decided though.
Yes, the character does have a bit of an iconic pose that goes with the sort of shtick that I was going with for this one. But in the end I decided that, I don't know, I just needed something that was sort of in between the two of them. It didn't quite work either way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I made my life difficult, but I think it worked in the end.
I always find it's the toughest decision is picking a pose.
Yeah,
because that's like the start of your drawing.
My next struggle was trying to find a like middle ground between John's face shape, which is totally the opposite of anime men.
Right, because anime tends to have like really pointy chins,
Like sharp
and, like,
lines.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel like him if I was gonna like change his whole face shape.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find like a middle ground between him and an anime face, which initially turned out to be a Disney man. But I think I got there once I started doing my proper line work.
Hey, I think it looks like him. You absolutely nailed the hair. He's got like that curly John hair.
Yep. I think a lot of people are kind of going to be working out which character or what anime I'm referencing here. And this particular character has glasses that kind of make the face, like the facial expressions and stuff that go with him. So I ended up adding those in.
Okay.
Because it just didn't quite work otherwise.
Yeah, that's quite a bold choice because John's original character design doesn't have glasses.
No, and I was struggling a lot with what eye shape I was going to give him if I didn't give him glasses.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a cheat out. Add the glasses, no one will know.
I'm interested to know what he's got in his hand because you had me confused for quite a while.
If you know what character I'm referencing, you'll have a pretty good idea of what the thing in his hand is. It's photos. So I'm drawing John as if he were Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist, who has a wallet of photos of his kid.
Oh my God.
And carries them everywhere.
That is so sweet.
So I thought it would be funny to just have like a million photos of Odie and Garfield.
His kids, yeah. Now the pose totally makes sense.
Yeah.
He's like displaying, he's showing everybody, like, look at these photos of my kids.
Mm-hmm. I think I got there in the face shape in the end. It's sort of, once I added the traditional John mouth shape, I couldn't stop laughing at myself.
He looks so derpy.
Yeah, I was like reasonably happy with how it ended up. It gives me a good giggle.
He looks absolutely awesome. I love him.
And I felt like he needed to be in some kind of space, so I added a gradient just to finish it off, just to give him some kind of background. The end.
When in doubt.
Yes.
Gradient.
Radiant.
Easiest background ever. So for my second artwork, I went the cute, wholesome route with the first one. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more funny.
Yeah.
So I went with like a grungy sort of anime.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this.
Like a grungy high school teenage drama anime. So the main character in this anime, he's quite shy and like very introverted. So I kind of wanted to reflect that in the pose. So I decided to go for like this really hunched, but also sort of like we're looking down on him. But he's also very tall and very lean. So I really struggled with this particular pose.
I love the line work you've started with, that sort of S shape you've got going on.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yes, I learned that from Morgan.
Hey.
And I feel like this character tends to have his hands in his pockets and he's sort of got that shrugged shoulder, like he's sort of shying away from someone or trying to avoid being seen. So once I got the initial skeleton down, it was looking very messy. So I decided to go over it with another construction layer to sort of get the details of the face and the clothing down. And at this stage, I felt like the pose was finally starting to make sense and come together.
I'm loving the line for his tummy and like belly button area. I don't know why, it looks so good with the angle.
Ah, thank you. It immediately gets covered up with clothing.
No!
So sorry about that. I find it really helps to like draw a character with no clothes and
Yes.
then add clothes over the top.
Because then you know how they're going to sit properly.
Yeah, so there are two main characters in this particular anime that I was referencing. So I wanted to include Odie as well. I could have gone really serious with Odie because I think that would have been funny because he's usually such a silly dog. But instead I just decided to lean into full derp for Odie. So I gave him like this ridiculously large tongue and these like stupidly large bright eyes and a schoolgirl outfit for him because the second character is a female. And at this stage I was kind of having some trouble with Odie's ears. The character that I was referencing is actually a bunny rabbit, so she's sort of got those upwards ears, and Odie also has like upwards ears in the comic as well. But I kind of struggled to get those long upwards ears without making him look like a rabbit or something.
Yeah, it's hard.
So eventually I just did it over and over again until it basically felt right. And I think adding the wagging tail sort of helped with that.
Yeah, the second the tail comes in, you can see it's a dog.
Yeah. At this stage, I was super, super happy with like the construction sketch of it all, but I was frantically running out of time. So I decided to just whack in some lines. I was a lot looser with this artwork than I was with the Studio Ghibli Totoro artwork, but I think that sort of lent itself to the style of the anime. And just filling everything in with colour, I sort of tried to stick to both the Garfield colour scheme and the anime colour scheme. And then, of course, I added some super dramatic, high contrast lighting.
I love the angle that the light's at, especially how it falls on his face.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
The anime that I was referencing is absolutely gorgeous and just stunning. Like every scene looks so good. So I really wanted to capture that like really strong dramatic lighting that they have in almost every scene. And if you haven't guessed what anime it is already, perhaps the title will help. I just plonked that in the background, and yeah, the anime that I referenced was Beastars. So I drew Garfield as Legoshi, who is the main antagonist, and he is this like really angsty teenager who just like doesn't really want to talk to anyone and he's really shy. And I drew Derpy Odie as Haru, which is the female protagonist. I also added a I Hate Mondays just because I felt like the expression was just so perfect for it. Especially contrasting Odie's like stupidly positive,
Yes.
like happy-go-lucky expression.
So I think I'm going to have to watch this anime now because I'm loving the style that you've done. And I'm like, you're saying it's like beautiful in all the scenes. I'm really excited to watch it.
Thank you. Yes, I've convinced someone.
Hey.
And now onto our final artwork of the day, and perhaps the best one. No pressure.
Pressure. My second artwork, I wanted to do an anime that I grew up with that's sort of like inspired everything, all of my drawings, I think, from then on. And I wanted to use an exact screen cap, essentially, from that anime to try and incorporate Garfield into. So I started with the background, just trying to get some textures in. So I wanted to try and get the exact colours and mood down for this scene. Colour palette's sort of very specific, or at least the background colour palette for this anime.
I think that's such a good place to start, like, because there is something about just having a blank white canvas that is so intimidating and so overwhelming. So even just adding some textures and some colours to just sort of get some mid-tones going on. Like, I usually start my art like that, and I think it's the best way to start.
Absolutely. Once I'd done that, I had my scene to reference and just tried to get down the exact shapes, but in a very unimpressed Garfield kind of way.
Oh my god, immediately he looks like Grumpy Cat.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. It's the mouth, isn't it? So I struggled a lot with the line work because this anime has very dainty, very fine line work, and I have a joint condition which makes my hands shake.
Oh no,
So
I didn't know that.
it was very difficult for me to try and get this line work to look nice and fine, but we work with what we work with.
I never would have known. I never would have known.
So I went back later and tried to sort of refine it a little bit, and I tried to get sort of the character's hands holding Garfield in a similar position to the scene in the anime.
So is there a cat in this anime?
There is a cat in this anime, and I think I've already drawn something on this cat that has pretty much made it very obvious which anime I'm referencing.
I think I know which one it is.
So we'll reveal that this is Sailor Moon, and I'm trying to make Garfield into Luna on the very first scene where Usagi or Serena, depending on which one you're watching, finds her or him.
Oh my god, he looks so unimpressed.
I love drawing really unimpressed animal faces. It's just something that I like making myself giggle. So just trying to add colours that are Garfield's colours but sort of fit the sort of slightly more muted, pastelised sort of, what's the word I want? Palette the original sort of 90s Sailor Moon had. And then I was sort of thinking about going in and adding some textures, like noise, I guess, to make it sort of that older animation feel as well.
Yeah, like a little bit of grain.
Yeah.
I think this is my favourite one of the day. He just looks so grumpy and unimpressed, but he's also really cute.
I think my favourite is your Totoro. I loved him. Yeah, the background, just the whole feel. I love it. And I'm a massive Ghibli nerd though, so.
Yeah, me too, me too. I kind of wanted to just do all Studio Ghibli drawings today, but I was like,
Let's save that for another video.
Yeah, I
we
think
all
so.
get to draw them.
Thank you so much for watching, and if you like seeing us draw fun characters in fun styles, be sure to like and subscribe and comment and do all of those fun YouTuber things.
And if you want to give your hand a go at turning Garfield into an anime of your choice, feel free to pop it in our Insert Art fan art section on our Discord.
Yes, or on our Twitter, we are at Insert Art Show, and be sure to use the hashtag InsertFanArt. And last but not least, an extra special thank you to our beloved patrons. Not Patreons, as I've been told, patrons.
So Distinct Dev,
Melville,
Alfie the Fluke,
Tumbling,
Dominic Larson,
Slink LX,
and our brand new one,
our newest member, Marzi Malfoy.
Malfoy.
Welcome to the Master Patreon. You guys are our biggest supporters, and we would not be able to do all this fun stuff without you.
You're not a patron yet, you have to sign up.
If, like Ash and all of our Master Patrons, you would like to learn about our super secret art tips and tricks, we do tutorials, we do masterclasses. All of the Insert artists are even working on a giant commission that you get to collaborate with, but you have to become a patron. Patron. Is that what I said?
Patron?
Did I say
Patreon.
Patreon?
Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Insert outro.